Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the NJ Show. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're having a good week, a good month. I know trading has been interesting this month. Bitcoin has been going up. We've had a bit of a risk on environment. We're going to be talking about a few things today that I've come across. It definitely warrants a stream. You've seen it on the headlines already in the stream. And I want to talk to you guys today about this and how it's actually going to affect us going forward. I really think that there's going to be a bull market that is on the horizon, a 2024 bull market, bigger than 2021, bigger than 2017. I really believe it's coming. Now, what we have to do in the interim is we have to use what we have to start building our story. To get that confirmation, we need to build a case. We need to get the evidence required to make sure. Camera out of focus. No, it's good, man. It's good. Camera's good. Camera's good. Ignore the chat. So we need to build evidence. We need to build a case that allows us to walk into the next bull market prepared. One that allows us to have a plan that we can execute in order to maximize our potential in the next cycle. Now, this isn't a clickbait video. This isn't a, I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not going to ask you to join my group or whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to focus. The first two pieces of news that we've got are a bit dry, but if you stick with me to the end, I'll reward you guys with a couple of altcoin requests. Okay. So this is the agenda for today. First, I'm going to do a quick shout out. Second, I'm going to run over Bitcoin. Third, we're going to talk about two pieces of news that are going to be a little bit boring. All right. But it's going to build our case for the rest of the episode. All right. And then for those who stick with me till the end, we'll get some altcoin requests going. So first thing is first, let's do a quick shout out. Get your comments in. Let me see what you guys have to say. A very, very good afternoon in the UK to DNZ, who is the first today. Nicholas, he beat you just by a few minutes, my bro. Good to see you, Nicholas. JL in the chat. Very good to see you, JL. Crypto Mac, very, very good to have you on board. Elizabeth, thank you for tuning in. My number one. Why is my green screen moving mad like that? Hold on. There we go. That's much better. Good to see you, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining. Stephen M. Crypto. Fantastic to see you, my friend. Miguel, it's good to have you on board, bro. Bruv, 25K, 30 before 17. All right, we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about Bitcoin in just a second. Stick around for that. Phil the Flying Frenchman. It's never a stream without Phil. So it's good to see you, Phil. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's early where you are. Vineet. Good to see you, Vinny. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from the cold, grey, and dark Vienna, but still beautiful. Great to have you on board, Vinny. Thank you. Classic Cookie. Good to see you again, my friend. Wagwan chat. Michael Caffrey. Na 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 na. NJ. Yeah, that's me, G. That's me. Hey, what flexing? Oh, oh, sorry, G. My bad. My bad. Hibby. Good afternoon. It's good to see you. Lily. Good to see you, sis. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. We've got Tonos. We've got I'll do one or two more and then we're gonna carry on. We've got August in the chat, we've got Mike in the chat, we've got Fatih, we've got Y Legend, and we have got Nickerman. All right, there we go. That's the shout out done. Remember to smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel too. We are on our way to 5.2k subscribers. We just broke 5.1, so make sure that you guys are smashing the subscribe button, especially if you learn something throughout the rest of the episode. All right, stick around, make sure you smash a like, make sure you're smashing the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified half an hour before I go live. That usually helps. All right, so quick one, let's kick it off. All right, I'm going to share my screen now, hang on, and we are going to go into Batcoin. All right, we're going to talk about Batcoin. Okie dokie. So look, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, you guys would know that this was the plan that I had marked out for Bitcoin. It hasn't fully gone to plan, but let me run you through why I think this is plausible and it's still valid. All right. Now for Bitcoin, what I'm looking at here is it's undeniable that Bitcoin has given us a strong rally, one that is a bit different to the previous ones. We've got the volume, it's not retesting support properly, it's just going up. All right, it's giving everybody the up only vibe. All right, and I'm not shitting on it. I love you all for making the gains that you're making. Many probably won't take any profit, but let's discuss why I think a pullback is coming now. From a technical perspective, if we zoom out a little bit, right? Ignore the circles and ignore the lines. We can see the orange lines here. That's my range for Bitcoin. That's where I think that price is going to finish up. We've come into that range, we've deviated the range high, and now we are back above, and we're back above the 2017 high. So it makes you wonder, Bitcoin must be really bullish. Okay, have we seen any sort of instance of this? We have. We saw this in 2019 here we go. We saw this right here in 2019. It was massive euphoria. I was there. And I remember how I felt. I remember what was going through my head. I remember missing half the move. And I thought to myself, how can I make it so that the next time this happens, I'm not going to be one of those people that miss a move like that? Lo and behold, we've come to an area now where as soon as we broke above this range high right here, it took my attention. And because Bitcoin dominance continued pushing lower, it made sense for us to long some altcoins. And we did long a few altcoins here on this channel, in my Telegram, on my Twitter. We longed a few altcoins and we have done well. Now, I took profit. I took profit a little early. All right. Altcoins have rallied maybe 10% since I've taken profit. And I don't think I've done the wrong thing. Okay. Now, from a technical perspective, if we're going to look at this thing hasn't retested any highs. It's not retested any support and resistance. It's one of those rallies that are really, really enticing us to really get on board. Everything about this rally screams buy to me. Okay, we're ignoring the macro. We're ignoring the fact that we've been getting rate hikes. We're ignoring the fact that we've got a few pieces of news to discuss today, which will prove that the bull market, we're not quite there yet, but it is on the horizon. All right, we are building towards it. And it's not just us that are building towards it. The banks are building towards it. The global markets are building towards a risk-on environment. Everybody makes money in a risk-on environment. So looking at a chart like this, it screams buy. Why am I not buying? What I'm thinking here, guys, is this. If we just jump into the H4 real quick, I'll run you through what I'm seeing. You see, we've got this little consolidation here. We broke below the consolidation right there, and we sold off. This was the low that we made after selling off this consolidation. We then came up, took the highs of this consolidation out, and then we went lower. We did the same thing here. If I zoom in right here, we did the exact same thing here. We had this consolidation area right here. We started breaking this low here, but before we did, we took out the highs of this consolidation and voila, we sold off. Now, for me, I'm seeing the same thing here. Let me just remove this. There we go. I'm seeing the same thing here. All right. And we need a pullback. We need a pullback. I would love to see something like this. And this is what I'm playing for. And I'll explain why I'm playing for it too. So I'm thinking from here, it's going to start selling off. Maybe does something like this. And then just when it breaks below here and everybody thinks it's going to start going crazy, as in much lower, that's when I think we're going to get this. Now, if you compare this and look at all the price action that we've got here, it's not a lot that I'm asking for. I'm asking for the minimal, in my opinion. All right. We've not tested this support level here. We've not tested this support here. We just rallied and we left. All right. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, what if it does rally and just leave? What are we going to do? Are we going to get on board? Are we going to play it? Are we going to watch out for our risks? Well, this is what I think. I think that you need to evaluate this yourself. If you've been in the game for less than 2 years, you're probably not really prepared as a trader to take on higher targets unless we get deeper confirmation. So to give you an example, right, if we extend this here, right, this also plays as support, doesn't it? Right? Again, same thing. If we extend this here, this will also play into support. So look, maybe it comes into here. Maybe price does something like this. Maybe it doesn't go as deep as I want it to go. The point is, the reason that it's not looking so obvious is because this thing only looks like it wants to go higher, which means that if it wants to go higher and we're looking at it from a psychological perspective, I think that if we were to break even below this low right here, I think everybody would get bearish. And keep in mind what I'm saying. There are some traders on Twitter, people who I used to respect so much. The amount of times that they flip bias and then they claim that they're just trading both sides of the market when in reality they're flipping bias like crazy. You can't go from saying, oh my God, I'm so bullish, the biggest bull pump is coming. Oh my. And then 7 hours later, you're saying, oh yeah, we took a short in my private group recently. This is what we did. You got to follow me, man. You got to pay for my private group. This is what we're doing. We're doing it big. It don't work like that. And you're going to get found out eventually. Most influencers are doing this now. You'll see guys that are just never active. They be getting active now because they see a bit of a pump in the market. It's all a design to get you to buy their newsletter, join their paid group, or something that involves them benefiting. All right. Over here on the NJ show, what we're doing is we're building a community. I don't want your money. If you want to send in a super chat, feel free to, but I don't want your money. What I want is your time. All right. I want your patience. I want to ride this bull market together. In the 2017 bull market, there were other influencers. There was Supo, there was this guy, there was that guy, there was Data Dash. And I saw what they built and I saw the communities that they built. And I thought to myself, I want one like this as well. I want to do this in the future too, where it's me and a bunch of lovely, amazing people from crypto, and we just go and nuke the market together. Whether it's to the upside or to the downside, we play it together. All right. So again, for me, I need to see some sort of pullback on Bitcoin. This is not enough for me. If it continues going up from here, then you've got to remember, you've really got to remember that if you've made profits from this market before, then if it goes up to, let's say, 25K as an example, right, without giving us any sort of pullback, my friends, I'm really not going to be upset. If it goes to 25K from here, I'm not, what? Yo, Trader SC just sent a mad super chat and you didn't put anything either. Damn, that's amazing. Yo, Trader SC, thank you for that, man. That's insane. That's insane. Quickly recoup. Amazing, amazing. Big shout out to Trader SC in the chat. Massive shout out to Trader SC. That's my mentor, by the way. For those of you who obviously don't know, that's my mentor, Trader SC. He's pretty much done everything for me in this space, along with Trader XO. I really wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him and XO. But obviously, look, that doesn't mean that. And I noticed it was 69 as well. Yeah, that's the reason that I'm stuttering now, because I saw 69 and so many things ran through my head that. But yeah, all right. Let's see what this geezer is saying. The only money you want is probably the YouTube monetization, which is fine. At least you're not telling us halfway through the video about your sponsors or some course, because I never believe in those. Well, look, actually, Solid, I disagree with that. I think that you are allowed to have sponsors. I think if you're putting the work in, then you are entitled to get paid for it. And I'm not going to disagree with you there, but it just sounds like you're salty, to be honest. That's just my personal take. That said, moving on, let's stick to Bitcoin. Let's not digress. If we were to go to 25K from here, after considering all this bull run that we've just had, all this bear market that we've just had, I really don't think that I'm going to be worried if I miss that. And I need you guys to also focus on this too. When you guys think about the market from this perspective, if you guys are really jeopardizing your health just for a sort of 5 to 10% move on Bitcoin, you're really not zooming out. And if you're not zooming out, you're not playing the game. And if you're not playing the game, then you're here to get liquidated. You are officially exit liquidity. Get a piece of paper, write down what you do in the space, write down how you get involved in the space, write down what you learn, write down how you communicate with people, and you'll quickly be able to identify from that whether you are exit liquidity or whether you are a actual crypto person who is most likely preparing for the next cycle and is going to smash the next cycle. The next bull market is going to require a lot of execution. Only people who have prepared for it will yield those successes. All right. I cannot stress it any clearer than that. All right. That is what it is. Now, once again, I'm looking at this here. We've just taken out this week's high as well. This weekly candle over here, this swing high on October. And I, again, want a pullback to come. Looking at it like this, yes, it can keep going higher. Yes, I can make arguments for it to come out and take out 25K right now. It could. At the same time, you've got to think about it. There are other things in play as well. Let's look at the dollar real quick. Let's look at the dollar, right? The dollar is... This was the plan that we marked out for the dollar a couple of weeks ago. So for those of you who wanted to, for those of you who watched my stream the last time I did it, I ran through the dollar and why I think the dollar is going to do something like this. This is a 20-year chart of the dollar. This isn't a 5-minute chart. This is a range that has been playing for since, hold on. Let me just move this. This is a range that's been playing from, let's take this high here, July 2001. We are now in 2023. All right. This channel has been respected. It doesn't have to respect it. But what I will tell you is that dollar is at support right now. Okay. It doesn't look like it's support, but it is at support right now. And we have reasons to believe the dollar could start bouncing here. All right. Refer back to Trader XO and Trader SC's channels. They've recently updated on dollar as well. I highly urge you guys go and watch that to try and get an understanding. The S&P as well. If we have a quick look at the S&P, where's my S&P chart? It's this one. Yeah. The S&P as well. Oopsie. I don't quite see I don't quite see it holding just yet. Okay, I don't quite see it holding just yet. We haven't really broken any sort of market structure. We've just been pushing to the upside. Bitcoin has been following the S&P. This is clearly a rally driven by the S&P, and we have to really wait. We have to wait for confirmation. The more confirmation we get, the more we'll be able to play on board. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because when we start looking at certain altcoins, we start looking at support and resistance. We start seeing that there are many altcoins that are at support. All right, you know what, Solid? I'm just gonna have to ban you. I'm just gonna have to ban you. Look, it's your fault at the end of the day. We're a community here where we're building for the next bull run. We are we're all working super hard here, and we all want to make it. And then people like you come in who get liquidated probably every other day, and you're trying to spoil it for others. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. But he's gone now. He's not going to be coming back. Good for him. Good for him on missing out. Now, look, ignoring the charts for a second, I want to tell you guys this story. Now, I told you guys from the beginning of the episode, I did say that the first two pieces of news would be a little odd. All right. And when we look at this news, I'm going to show you how it helps us, how it fits so well into our bias, and why I think that the next bull run isn't that far away. All right. News number one, China. Okay. Now, this is the most EastEnders kind of news that you can get. Check this. Check this. China has criticized the United States over its debt limit. Okay, nobody cares. The criticism comes after the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary. This is not like a high school teacher, or this is not like your cousin on Twitter. This is the Secretary of the Treasury. All right, she's come out and she said China's handling of the debt issues, in developing countries, they're not very good. Okay, now when you're at that level and you're talking to other people in other countries that have high powers, you're essentially starting problems that you're not really prepared to handle. This trickles down. All right, the he said, she said thing, like, not to make it a pun, but Chinese whispers. All right, now the US responds. The US responds, and China responds, apologies, and says China accuses the United States of sabotaging other nations to resolve its catastrophic debt problem. Now, we know, if you've been watching this channel over the last couple of months, you guys will know that the Chinese, the dollar, the Chinese version of the dollar, the Chinese yuan, and the United States dollar, they've been at each other's throats for many, many years. We're talking 30 to 50 years they've been at each other's throats. China wants to be the superpower. The dollar wants to be the superpower. United States wants to be the superpower. And it all comes down to money, how big the armies are. They're consistently rebuilding their armies, consistently adding more numbers so that the strength of their currency goes up. And it's gone to a stage now where, because of what happened with COVID, it's kind of sped up where we were meant to be, I would say, in around another 10 years' time. All right. COVID really, really sped that up. Now, all you guys got to do from this article is just hold the information. Just hold that information. We've got a little EastEnders drama going on between China and the US. Cool. All good. Moving along. It goes further to say, look, the Democrats push to eliminate the debt ceiling, allowing unlimited government borrowing. Sounds a bit like COVID, where they just printed an insane amount of money and just dashed it into the economy. That's how we got that massive bull market, right? The risk on scenario. Everybody's wondering when they're going to turn that money printer on again. Well, if we read between the lines, what are they talking about here? Think the word money printer, all right? You're thinking to yourself, oh, when are we going to turn this money printer on again, man? I want bull market to come back now, all right? I want my altcoins to do 100x now. I want Bitcoin to go crazy. I'm holding 100 ETH in this wallet and it's not doing anything. It's just going down. Democrats push to eliminate the debt ceiling so it allows unlimited government borrowing. There you go. All right. Dozens of House Democrats have proposed legislation that would eliminate the debt ceiling. Okay. They borrow so much money from themselves that they put it back into the market, and apparently they've cleared the debt. And this money that they've printed, nobody has to say anything because they printed it because they were allowed to. That was the whole point of the legislation. Makes sense? Suddenly everybody's happy again. There's loads of money in the market again. Market's going up. But this is not going to work. What these guys are doing is they're looking for a bailout solution. They're looking for a way to cancel all of the mistakes that they've made in the last 10 to 15 years in order to get them back on top. As we transition into the next decade, whether it be for technology, whether it be for Bitcoin, whether it be for finance, we can see that when you compare the economy of China and you compare the economy of the US, China are doing significantly better than the US are. China's doing better than most countries are. And it's getting to a stage now where slowly, China will become the superpower. Now, this has been mocked many times in the last 20 years, but 20 years later, we're here now and it's becoming a reality. And it's something that we need to take into consideration going forward for fundamental analysis. Let's take an example, right? Imagine we're looking at the chart of Bitcoin, all right? Now, in order to start the chart of Bitcoin, we usually look at the dollar, right? But imagine I said we were looking at the is it CNY? Is it CNY? Yuan Brazilian real futures. Yo, somebody in the chat let me know what is the yuan index? What is the yuan index? That's what I'm looking for. Is it I believe it's CNY. It's CNY. Hold on. FTSE China futures. Somebody in the chat let me know what the Chinese futures are. Not futures, the Chinese index. The index for the yuan. Point I'm making is imagine we got to a stage where we were doing these streams, and in order to start the streams for to chart other pairs, we were starting with the Chinese yuan. That's pretty much how it would be. What the Chinese yuan does, what happens in that economy is the economy that will affect the rest of the world. Similar to how I think 5 or 6 episodes ago we did do an episode here, I think 5 6 weeks ago, where we covered the UN nations preaching, calling out to Jerome Powell and the Fed to tell the Fed, oh, you guys are affecting the rest of the world. Every time you do a rate hike, it doesn't just affect your citizens in the US, it affects the rest of the world. All right. And obviously the Fed responded to say, look, they have to do what they're doing. They're not going to change that. But the point is that if that was to change, then the Chinamen would become the superpower. The Chinese would become the superpower. Do I care if that happens? Not really. I'm not really bothered. Whoever runs the economy better, as long as it gives us a risk on environment. I'm Trader NJ. I'm a crypto guy. Everybody knows me for crypto. So literally, that's what I'd be focusing on. All right. Now, this is where it gets mad. Thank you for the 80 people of you who are here. Thank you for sticking with me, because this is where the episode gets a bit mag. Do me a favor, if there's 80 people here, smash a like on the video. Help me get to 100 likes. I know some of you are tuning in now, some of you are tuning in earlier, later, whatever, but smash a like on the video. And if you're enjoying the content, please feel free to subscribe to the content, bottom right hand corner, right? Now, look at this. This is what separates things, okay? First, we've got China criticizing the US, okay? Then we've got the US speaking internally to say, look, we've got to fix this, all right? We've got people like China chatting shit to us now. We've got to fix this. What do we do? What should we do? Over to Europe, we have got, where's the headline? Where's the title? Here we go. European banks allowed to hold 2% of capital in Bitcoin and crypto. Look, I'm not going to even cap it from here. Look, it doesn't get better than that, all right? It doesn't get better than that. That's like Man United signing Mbappe, all right? And I know Mac is in the chat right now, probably just did the biggest sigh of his life. I really want Mbappe to come to United. I really want it to happen. But this is the same as that. This is exactly the same as that. Why would the banks want to publicly announce that they're going to be holding crypto? Why? Ask yourself, take a second in the chat and just think it through for yourselves. Why would the banks want to hold it? Buying it is one thing. Exposure is another thing. Institutional buying as an investor's perspective, where they buy it because they want to yield a return on their investment, understood. But why would banks hold this currency? Banks don't care about Bitcoin going from 0 to 10 million. Okay, when it comes to 0 to 10 million, let me just run something for you now. Trader SE taught me this years ago. It took me ages to figure this out when he first said it to me, but once I started understanding this particular line, it helped me view the market in a very, very different way. It calmed me down a lot. All right. I used to be like you, where I was just doing charts nonstop, 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart. Oh yeah, but correlation here and this, that. Bro, sis, they will price this token or this chart to whatever they want to price it to. All right. Who are they? You'll never know. And that's the whole trick of the game. All right. They can take Bitcoin from 0 to $10 million, and you may have made millions on that Bitcoin trade, but it doesn't mean anything. Bitcoin doesn't hold any more precedence than it did the day before. Just because you have those millions, it doesn't mean that you're amongst the elite now. It's not going to change. People who think Bitcoin going to 1 million means that the world is going to change, they're in for a very nasty surprise. If Bitcoin's going to 1 million, then I urge you to look at what the ES might do. What will the ES do if Bitcoin goes to 1 million? I would argue that it would go to 10 to 15K for the ES per share, you know? And then what happens then? What happens then if the ES has gone so high that nobody can actually invest, and whoever wants to cash out, well, there's not going to be any buyers because it's too expensive? What happens then? What will inflation look like then? What will the stature of money look like then? Okay, so bear in mind that inflation to some degree also helps Bitcoin as well. You know, maybe in the last cycle, Bitcoin was meant to top out at 50K. Because of inflation, it topped out at 70. 70 might be the equivalent of 50, but the numbers to you entice you. The numbers to you make you think that there's something associated with it when in reality there isn't. It's all in your head. All right. Now, the banks holding 2% of capital in Bitcoin, their 2% ain't the same as yours, my friend. Their 2% is not the same as mine. 2% could be the entire supply of your favorite altcoin. That's how big that is. But why? Why would they want to be holding this? And I'm talking to all of you in the chat. Mac, I know you're there. AM, I know you're there. These are the kind of convos we have in person. Why would they be holding this crypto? This is going to be cliche, but the answer is adoption is happening. We saw in the last bull market, we saw all these cards that were coming to play. We saw all of these these crypto cards like Plutus. In the previous cycle in 2017, we had the 10x card. All right, now these cards are going above and beyond. Now these cards aren't just used to exchange your crypto in order for you to be able to spend in a shop. These cards are allowing you to enter the electronic space. You can now use your crypto to get a subscription of Netflix, Disney Plus. You can use your crypto to get a gym membership. You can use your crypto to buy groceries. You can use your crypto to go out on a date with your girl. The point I'm making is that if all of these activities that you can do as a person, as a consumer, if you can do it with crypto, then this is causing a little bit of problems, especially when they've just upped these rate hikes so that people can put money back into the economy. The concept of these rate hikes is, let's say, for instance, right, to give you an example, whoever's in the chat, you and your missus or you and your husband or whatever, you guys want to buy a yard. Yeah, you want to buy a house, and you're saying to yourself, all right, well, Angel, I want to buy a house. I'm going to go to the bank tomorrow. We found a house that we really love. We need to get into this house now. Maybe your wife's pregnant or you've had some sort of fallout with your family, God forbid. You need to buy this house. You go to the bank, bank says, no problem, I'll give you a house. We'll give you a house for 6.5%. You're looking at this banker right now and you're thinking to yourself, well, hang on a second. That doesn't make any sense. 6.5% on a house that's going to cost me $1 million. You're asking me to pay you 65K just to borrow this money, but you're supposed to be the only solution for this. So you're forcing me to pay it. All right. Now you look at your wife and your wife says, look, the baby's coming in 2 months and we have to buy this house. You buy the house, you sign the paper, you're now locked in for 6.5%. All this interest that you're paying, it's going back into the economy. That's the reason that they do it. They know that people will have no choice, right? When you go and finance a TV or you go and finance a car, all of these prices, if you go and investigate, takes 2 seconds. Go to your local store, pick a TV and just say, I'd like to apply for the finance. What are the going rates? All right. You'll notice that maybe last year it would have been 3-4%. This year it's like 20%. You know, I was looking at a new car, right? And I didn't want to buy it outright. And all the finance is coming up 34%, even with my credit rating. I'm a crypto guy. What debt do you think I'm in? But I'm a crypto, and it was coming up. It was coming up 34%. So I was like, no, do you know what? I'm happy with my Golf R and my CLA. I'll stick to that. You know, I'll just wait. I'll be patient. All this money, it goes somewhere. The banks are utilizing it somewhere. All right. Now, going into the next cycle, let's say, for instance, right? Let's say, for instance, if they've got all this money, inflation is coming down. Well, hold on a second. If inflation is coming down and they're restoring the economy back to pre-COVID times, let me just grab a drink. 1 second. Smash a like on the video while I'm drinking. If they're restoring the economy back to where it was pre-COVID, then essentially what's going to happen is they're hiking these rates, they'll pause the hikes, and we'll expect quantitative easing to happen maybe early 2024. Maybe as soon as mid 2023. I'm not going to talk about that. I've seen the news. I've seen people talking about it. I don't want to talk about mid 2023 until we're closer to mid 2023. If the Fed come out and say something like, "Oh, we're going to start doing it," then yeah, I'll talk about it. But until then, my mindset is 2024. That's when it should start. They say that the latest time for that will be 2024, but that's when I think it will start. All right. Until then, I'm not going to bring that date back any behind anymore. All right. Now, if they're going to do quantitative easing and we're pumping off a lower rate hike, the Fed increases rates by 50 BPS, no, 100 BPS, 75 BPS, 50 BPS. Now they've increased it by 25. Everyone's getting bullish. Everybody said, "Wow, they've increased it so much over the last year. Now they're increasing it by 25. This is bullish. They've not increased it by 75. I'm a dickhead, so I'm going to go and buy this now." Right? They've increased the rates. This is worse. This is bearish news. What's going to happen when they start doing quantitative easing coupled with bullish crypto news, the Bitcoin halving coming? What's going to happen then? What's going to happen when they want to stimulate the economy? What's going to happen when they want to stimulate? Do you know what that means, by the way? Let me tell you what that means. If they want to stimulate the economy, they want you to go buy a new phone, a new TV. They want you to take out a couple new contracts. You just bought a new house with your missus, with your boyfriend, whatever. Go and buy yourself some new furniture, man. Come to this shop here, right? I'll sell you this Natuzzi couch, amazing couch, and I'll give you 1% finance on it. Everybody, that's what you call stimulating the economy. And you know what? I'm going to give you incentives as well. If you are this person that has this, or if you're a single parent that has this, we're going to give you benefits. We're going to give you these benefits. These new benefits have come to fruition and we're allowed to do it now. We're going to give it, oh, we're going to fix these roads. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Why don't you get a new car? Oh, we're doing a deal on tires. Why don't you buy some tires? That is stimulating the economy. So once we get quantitative easing, right, at some stage, they're going to want to stimulate the economy. Now, I'm not arguing that it's going to be the money printer, but you think of it for yourself, what that will mean for the price of cryptocurrency and for the price of altcoins that follow behind those cryptocurrencies. Further to add to that, Visa, you might know who Visa is. You guys know who Visa is. All right. Everybody uses Visa. All right. I used it last night to order some Uber Eats. Everybody uses their Visa. All right. Visa has a number of stablecoin initiatives underway. Why? What does that have to do with us? When we're talking about Visa, we're talking about dollars. I want to go to the cinema tonight. Me and you will go to the cinema tonight. Oh, who's paying? All right, doesn't matter. I'll bring my card. All right, cool. You've got your GBP, you've got your USD, you've got your yuan, you've got your whatever. You know, you're not gonna say, "Yeah, I've got my USDT. I'm coming." I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before. You know, and look, Phil dropped it there. I was literally just going to say this right now, but Phil said it before. Phil said, "I hate Visa. They blocked me to buy more crypto." Yeah, as far as I'm aware as well, Phil, they've never been involved in crypto. They've never wanted to be involved in crypto. These guys hate crypto. All right. These guys are the guys that report to the tax people and they try and screw you over. Now, why would they be building a number of stablecoin initiatives? Why? What does that benefit to them? Maybe we're not the only ones preparing for the next cycle. And that's my final conclusion. My final conclusion is that the next cycle is going to be much harder than the previous cycle because there are significantly more entities that are preparing for it. And this is why it's imperative that you study. And why Legend here says it perfectly. Why Legend here says adoption. And that is the key word. That was the purpose of today's stream. Okay? That was literally the purpose of today's stream. I wanted to run through everything that I've seen here to show you guys that this is actually happening. It's not something that's happening under your covers. It's not something that you're making up. It's not something. I know a lot of people are calling crypto people crazy right now. All right? And believe me, in 2018, I got it bad. When I believed that a bull run was coming and nobody else believed me, I had close members, family members calling me crazy, saying I've lost the plot. All right. And it's happening all over again. I think the same thing is happening again now. The pieces of the puzzle are falling into play. They are falling into play as we speak, you know? And I think it's going to happen again. But what I do think is going to happen, and what I'll do is I'll take a few questions now. If anybody wants to ask me anything, or if anybody wants to make me run over a chart or something like that, I'll take some questions. So I don't know, feel free to drop something in if you guys want to talk or anything like that. Otherwise, I'll shoot soon. But the main thing that we have to remember here is that, if we look at Bitcoin as an example, right? Let me just show you something on Bitcoin. Because this is where I think it's going to start getting a bit silly. If we go to the monthly chart of Bitcoin and we go back all the way to, bear with me. If we go back all the way to these areas here, back when Bitcoin was at the lower sort of 200 $300 levels. All right, we look at these we look at these 200 $300 levels, and we see it pump from here all the way to 20k. And when it pumps to 20k, you think to yourself, I'm never going to be able to afford one Bitcoin ever again, because I'm who has 20k liquid? If I've got 20k liquid, it means I've saved for it. If I've saved for it, it probably means because it's going to my family or my future family, or I'm saving for something that's important for my future. I don't really want to go and throw it into a token. You know what I mean? Right? Now, Bitcoin gets to 20k and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to afford a Bitcoin. Bitcoin comes back to 3k, right? And suddenly you can afford a Bitcoin. Why not? That's how much risk is that of your that 15% of your portfolio to buy one BTC? All right. From 3k, Bitcoin goes all the way to 70k. All right. All the way up here. 70k. Now, a lot of people think that the low is in. I don't think the low is in, but let's argue that it is. All right. Let's say the low came in right here. This was the low of Bitcoin forever. Now, this is not me saying this is the low, but $15,460, that's the absolute low for Bitcoin. That's significantly different to the $3,000 level we had here. All right. Now, what if we go up from here and we go to 150k, all the way up here? What if we go to 150k? Then what's the low going to be? The low is not going to be $300. It's not going to be 3k. It's not going to be 15k. It's probably going to be 30, 40k. At that point, yes, another bull market might come. At that point, yes. But who's going to really be able to afford another Bitcoin? Who's going to be able to get one? Somebody says, "Oh wow, I saw that bull run that happened in 2017. Did you see those coins, Stratis and Lisk and Wan Chain? Wow, that was amazing." And then it happened again in 2021. Wow, did you see Bitcoin? Did you see NFTs? Did you see everything that popped on Ethereum, layer ones, parachains? Wow. So somebody says, I want to get involved now in the 2024 one, but your opportunities aren't as big as they were in the past. And that's what it means about being early. It doesn't mean that you're not early. You can be early to the next cycle and make a lot of money. You don't have to own one Bitcoin to start off the cycle. You can start the next cycle with 1K or $500. If you're there at the right time, no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea what to expect if you're there at the right time. During the bull market, everything goes up. You're not a genius. Everything goes up. Some may outperform others faster than others, but no one's a genius. All right. And if you buy your $500 at the right time, you may change your life forever. Okay. But the point I'm making is each cycle, it becomes more difficult to buy Bitcoin. Each cycle, it becomes more difficult to save your paycheck. All right. Let's say we do target a low. If I had to figure out a low for Bitcoin, for me personally, I think the lowest that we'd go is this bottom line right here. Maybe this low right here. That's for me personally, the lowest we'd go. That comes in at around 9K. All right. But if we go to 9K, I want to refer back to the main argument that I made. If we go to 9K, that's still 3 times larger than the previous low. So whoever's buying that low, good for you. You're buying a generational bottom, probably. But if you had bought it in the bear market previously, you would have got it for 3 times less. If you bought 10 Bitcoin for 90K, you could have bought 30. And in 2025, 2026, if the cycle repeats itself, we'll be in the bear market thinking to ourselves, oh, okay, where's the low for Bitcoin going to be? The last low was 10K. Oh, the next low might be 30K. And 30K is where the arguments happen. Oh, Bitcoin won't ever go to those prices again. We'll never see that low price for Bitcoin ever again. 30K, never happening. But at 30K, whoever invests, they're going to be investing 0.1 at most, 0.2 BTC. Oh, I took a 30K loan to buy Bitcoin. You didn't buy 10 Bitcoin with that. You bought barely one. After fees and shit, you bought one. All right. So that's the mentality. That's the way to look at it. And I do think that the next cycle is going to be bigger than the last one. However, it's all to do with who actually prepares for it. All right. And that's why you see me every day. That's why you see SC and XO every day. You see them every day. Many times happen, right? Where I'm on Twitter and nobody's tweeting except them. They're the only ones that are looking at the market, trying to understand it and break it down. Because when these big explosive moves happen, it takes one to just completely change who you are. It takes one to put you in a completely different financial bracket, which means that what you do the next day is going to be different. You can go from waking up at 9 a.m. to go to work to waking up at 9 a.m. To manage your money. That could be your job for the rest of your life. I'm stressed. I don't know how to manage all my money. Make sure you smash a like on the video, guys. I'm going to take some questions now. So let's have a look at this first one. I hope I'm not just reading this blindly. NJ, my man. How do we evaluate where the flow is going on the larger caps as money flowed into Sol, now into APT, which is coming into exhaustion? How do we identify the next big mover? Good question. But I'll be very honest with you. In order to do that, that is a whole episode in itself. A whole episode. Now, there are multiple ways to analyze flow, right? There is there is an application called Nansen. Nansen. Highly advise you go and Google that. You'll get most of your answers there. As for Solana in specific, it wasn't just Solana that pumped, my bro. Everything pumped. Like everything on that board pumped. Look at what got wrecked the most and see what was down the most. And you'll see why influencers were calling for those coins. All right. Solana pumped first out of all of them. And I agree with that. But Solana pumped first because everybody thought it was going to zero. We saw FTM rug and everybody thought Solana was about to rug. And then what was it that came out? Something came out. I think it was the first meme token on Solana. I don't know what it was called. Might be BC. I'm not sure. But it was the first meme token on Solana that came out, ripped all the liquidity into it, and there you go. Solana started pumping. Anything on any token that sits in that infrastructure, right? Whether it's Polkadot or Matic or Solana, if they have a token that resides within their ecosystem that has insane utility that people are flooding towards, it most likely means that the parent of that token is most likely going to get a massive pump, because in order to pump that token that you guys are referring to, it was Bonk. In order to pump this token, think about it. Which network is going to be the network that's taking out all that pressure? It's going to be Solana, won't it? Right? Therefore, you'll see Solana start to ramp up because there's so much usage on the network. All right. It's very bullish. All right. Let's take the next one. NJ, how would you approach as a new trader to invest and trying to maximize profit for next bull run? Buy into BTC, then roll into alt. Your input would be much appreciated. All right, that's a very good question. Very good question. All right, so let's break this question down. How would you approach as a new trader to invest? So there's a problem in that question already. So number one, there is a trader and then there is an investor. They are two completely separate things. Okay, that's number one. So you decide, do you want to be a trader or an investor? I do both, all right, but I don't trade anywhere near as much as my mentors. I don't trade anywhere near as much as my peers. I trade like once or twice a week, bro. You know, and I hate it. It's so long for me. Like, it's so long. I'm just not built like SC, all right? But when bull market comes, oh, I love FA. I love FA. I love talking about economics, and I love FA, and I love the way it all mingles together. TA, I had to learn it. I was so lucky to have that teacher, SC. I feel very, very privileged to have that. But I love playing the altcoin market. I love a trending environment. A trending environment is where you make so much money. And that's where the investor word comes into play, because you have to know what to invest in. All right. So going back to your question again, how would you approach it as a new trader or investor? Decide what you are first. All right. And just remember what I said earlier, even $500 can extremely change your bro. I'm telling you, just trust me on this. I don't have to tell you my life story, but I didn't start with 150K. I didn't start with that money. All right. I started with the same way that you guys are starting. I was working, I was at work, I was on my phone, I was looking at Reddit, I was looking at Twitter, I was looking at Telegram. I was involved. I was so deeply involved in the space, and I started with very little. Okay. So you will too. So make that decision, and then hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? Hey man, great stream. I'm more of a spot holder than a trader. I'm also expecting a pullback around the 10 to 12% mark on most of the top 50 altcoins. Is that a realistic view? Yeah, I think so. I think so personally, mate. If I'm honest with you, I think that if we're going to pull back, I would like to see 20K. I'd like to see Well, personally, I think just a bit shy of 20k, maybe just a bit lower than 20k. I wouldn't like to see these lows here get taken completely, but let's say somewhere between 18 and 19.5. I know that's a big number, but when you're looking at the monthly and the weekly, that's the kind of range you have to work with. All right. Like I said, I want something like this to unfold. If you watch the episode, I want something like this to happen. For me, that's healthy. That's healthy. I'd love something like that. Where does this come into? Somewhere around 19.5 to 20k. All right. And I want it to be quick. I don't want it to happen on the daily like this where it takes 3 months. I want it to be quick. I want it to be a push down. Everybody thinks we're going to be shorting it. We're going to zero. And suddenly, boom, we start going higher for higher prices. All right. Next question. If you're lucky in the shitcoin casino, even $100 can make you rich. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but don't look at it like that. Don't look at it like that. Focus on, like, you've got $100 and you find Polkadot before Polkadot becomes Polkadot. You find Kusama before it becomes Kusama. You find Solana before it becomes Solana. Like, that's the level you got to get to. All right. Now we'll be reviewing so many altcoins in the next bull market. That's kind of the purpose of this channel. You know, when the bull market comes back, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna pump all our bags. All right. Everything is gonna go up anyway, but we're going to be pumping the shit out of our bags. I promise you that now. We're going to be talking about the fundamentals. We're going to be talking about the news behind any altcoins. We're going to be coming live pretty much every single day when the bull market kicks off. So don't even worry about that. There will be casino coins. There'll be the gen plays, but I'm talking more about the main sort of layout, the main plays, like a token. You see it, you break it down, and you ask yourself, why would this go to the top 100? And then you buy into it with $100, and it does make it there. It goes into the top 100, and suddenly you've changed your life. Your $100 is worth now maybe what, 100, 200 grand. You take that, you be patient with it, you park it, you wait for the right opportunities to invest. Suddenly you're talking millions. Your friends have changed, your life has changed, the type of clothes that you wear changed, the type of food that you eat changes. Your parents aren't your parents anymore because you've looked after them. They're not stressed anymore. So they've got different personalities, you know? That's more to what I was referring it to. Anything else? Anything else? What do you think about the SEC possibly turning crypto into securities? What about mine tokens, LTC, XMRB? Yeah, look, honestly, look, regulation is really and truly what you're saying there. I think regulation is coming. All right. There is a downside to having news like this. There is a major downside to having news like this, which means regulation is coming. I do agree with that. But every cycle will be different. And also you have to remember that the SEC can do whatever they want. All right. If the SEC say this is going to be a security, you can't trade it here, then just go and live somewhere else. If you've made, look, let me ask you a question. You're a typical man. Let's say you're averaging between 25 and 45 years old. You go to work every single day. You get a paycheck at the end of the month. You get 2-3 grand, let's say, as an example, and you have your house, you have your family, and then out of nowhere you buy this cryptocurrency and it gives you your first million. Now your savings has gone from minus £2,000 every month to 1 million. But why are you staying there? Why are you staying in that same place and adopting that same routine? Take your money and go invest it somewhere. Go live somewhere else. Give your kids a better chance. If the UK did that today, if the UK said we're banning cryptocurrency and we hate crypto, I'd leave. I'll leave. This is my life. It's my life's work. This is what I'm pushing towards. I'll go away. The world is bigger than the four walls of your house. All right. And when you look up, you see a ceiling, but don't make that your whole life. Don't make that your whole life. Go see these countries. Go and see the other cultures and see what the rules and regulations are there. If they're crypto friendly and you get along with the people, they're probably going to be better off where you are there than where you are at home. Because at home you didn't have $1 million. Just a thought. Just a thought. Do you journal your trades post hoc to gain an insight in your mind to entering during? Yeah, I do. I've got my own little Telegram thing that I post charts in with Crypto Mac and Crypto AM. I've got my Twitter as well, which all my charts are there. But I don't have and I don't use Edgewonk anymore. I used Edgewonk for a bit. And if you want to get to a level where trading, as in trading, like, if you want to get to a level where you're focused on taking trades, like you're a swing trader, you're a day trader, and you're taking trades every week or every month, you have a certain quota that you want to hit, then you need to be doing that for sure. All right. But if you're trading like me, where I don't actually have a metric, I'm not I'm not analyzing my metrics. So say for instance I make 10 grand in the next month. I'm not going to say, well, I was supposed to make 50, so I'm a shit trader. I need to go back to journaling and back to the drawing board. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like I said, I play the trend. When the trend comes, I'm going to be very aggressive, you know? Very aggressive. Imagine taking one bar and throwing it into an altcoin like on Binance. Imagine doing that. Imagine there's an altcoin going crazy. There's like 100 million something in volume, and the books are going wild. And you take $1 million USDT and you put it all in one trade. When the time to become aggressive comes, it will come. All right. But for me, no, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm relaxed. Let the market do what it wants to do. For those who have seen the bull market, you guys will know what that means. And for those who haven't, and for those who are desperate, for those who are trying to manifest it using their feelings, probably not going to make it. Probably not going to get nowhere. Any other questions? No other questions? All right, cool. We're approaching the hour. All right, guys, look, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. We're at 60 likes. See if we can get that to 100, whether you're watching this recorded or if you're watching this live or whatever you're doing, but see if you can get it to 100. Also, please do smash the like button if you can. Subscribe button if you can. We are on our way to 5.2k subscribers. It would really help. We are trying to grow the channel. We've got the Telegram link in the description as well. First link in the description below. So make sure you check that out too. And once again, thank you for all your time. All right. If you found it useful and you're watching this recorded, please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, whether it's good, whether it's not, what you want to see. I don't know. Do you want to hear music or something? Or do you want to see memes? Do you want to have discussion points? Just anything that you can add that you think that I think NJ could add this to the show. I think it would be helpful. Just give me a comment, all right? Shout me on Twitter if anything. Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. A big shout out to my guys, Trader XO, Trader SC, Crypto Mac, Crypto AM, all these lovely, lovely people who work really hard to support me and push me to do this content for you guys. So a big shout out to them, and a big shout out to you guys in the community as well, who leave the comments, who drop me the likes, who get involved, who tune into the shows, and who subscribes to the channel. Appreciate all of you. We're going to have a very, very funky year. It's going to be a funky year, but we're going to kill the 2024 cycle. Take care, everyone. Shout you soon. See you another day.